Okay.
Acting as guards. The Eclipse and corrupted machines. Cooperating. One happy family.
Throwback gang, welcome back to a brand new episode of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right where he said it would be. Not a bad selection.
Link to the previous episode is at the top right hand of your screen where we did something. I need to check again to remember what we did. Give me one moment. So I have checked my notes, and by notes I mean I literally had to stop doing this voiceover and go see what we did in the previous episode, because it's literally been like a week, give or take, since I did the last voiceover, so you can't blame me for not remembering what we did. But that puts me in a wonderful segue to say, if you haven't yet watched the previous episode, this is your chance.
Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to succeed. Good hunting. We'll talk later.
Wait! Damn him.
Okay, so this is your chance to click off, go watch the previous episode, because spoilers are incoming in the next 10 seconds. I don't even think it's been 10 seconds, but I don't care. So in the previous episode, we did the Cauldron Zeta,
Eclipse, just like you said.
which allowed us the opportunity to override Thunderjaws, Stormbirds, and Rock Blasters. Yeah, I know, a very elite sect of machines. And we also did, I think it's called the Fire Kiln. We also did the Fire Kiln, what's its name? Bandit Camp. Now, today's entire episode is right in front of your eyes. Today's episode is solely dedicated on accomplishing everything Maker's End. So we shall be getting into Maker's End and figuring out what are some of the secrets. Who's this Elizabeth Sobek? Why do people want to kill Aloy? Is she her mother? And if so, why isn't she wearing clothes resembling any of the tribes? She's wearing clothes that look akin to what we wear today. So, really? So we have so many questions that will potentially be getting answered in this episode. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you for spending your, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend it entertained by this video. The gameplay is arguably better than my commentary, but you know, you can't be blessed in all aspects. And if you are a returning viewer, I thank you for your continued love and support that you show on my tiny ass channel. Now, these are the corrupted watchers. They aren't so problematic to deal with, as you guys can see. I will confess that I do not play these games on the hardest difficulties, because games are supposed to be entertaining. I'm not here to create stress for myself because I'm playing a video game. That would be dumb. Yes, and I don't care if any of you tell me that that's cap or a cop out. Or if you call me mid, I really don't care. Video games are supposed to be a means of relaxation, and relaxing is what I purposely intend to do in this entire episode. Now, this is a corruptor. We have fought 2 of them so far, as you guys know. We have fought one in Mother's Heart when we finished the proving, and we have fought another outside Day Tower when we were trying to get to Meridian. So we do have some experience fighting them. I mean, not much, but some, and some is better than none, as you can quite clearly see. Of course, it would have been easier to rope them down and go harm on them, but at the same time I don't see the need to do so because we do have, what's it called, we now have a wide range of cool weapons that I'd rather use than a rope caster. Albeit if I do need to use a rope caster, I will where the situation necessitates its use. Anyway, we do have a lot of enemies to deal with in this one place. It's quite insane. Man, this guy just ran all the way to get stabbed in the back. Must be feeling dumb. Anyway, I do believe we have taken out most of the people that we need to do, and we can proceed. I mean, there is probably just one person shown by that one icon way down there, but we've dealt with like 90% of the forces that we needed to, so one guy is not going to be a problem for us. Dude, you're literally alone. Like, your entire camp is dead. Right, so we need to go out to the ruins of Makers and figure out what's happening inside here. Of course, this was a hint given to us by Olin and confirmed further by our unknown caller. So answers are about to be given to us as we get here. Of course, there is an ancient vessel. We can pick this one up. These are part of the collectibles that we need to collect together with the Banuk figures, which we shall be doing probably near the end of the game because they aren't as important, but they do count towards the 100% completion that we are going for. Now, as Aloy has quite correctly pointed out, there are some explosions that you guys can hear in the background, so it's quite obvious that something big is happening. So let's go and see what it is.
All weapons operational.
Okay, so we need to kill the cultists and the Deathbringer. So this should be nice. So
has to be one of the Deathbringers Owen talked about. I'll never get to the tower.
the good thing about this one Deathbringer is it's so okay, I don't know what.
Steam's blasting out. Hitting that thing really hurt it.
I like that we've already destroyed the Deathbringer, but this is the thing. This Deathbringer is not mobile, so and it was severely damaged, so we can't take a lot of solace in knowing that it's something that is it wasn't a problematic thing to deal with, is what I'm trying to say. Because it is severely hampered, but you can imagine having to fight one that is fully operational. It doesn't seem like the best thing that one can have to deal with. Now we only need to take out some of the other remaining enemies, and then we can investigate what's happening in the Deathbringer. We only have a few more cultists to kill. How did I miss that?
Shadow guide me.
Okay, we have one more dude to take out. We only have the one dude to take out, and then we can proceed on with the mission. And there we are. Of Of course, I'm just checking some of these containers to open up stuff, pick up and have them ready, not stuff, resources rather, so that I can have them ready to use when I need them.
Did it. Those things pack a punch. All right. That Eclipse officer had a focus. Let's see what's on it.
Okay, so let's see what's on this soldier's focus, shall we?
Let's see what you have to say. What is this?
The entity lives. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
What the hell was that? Hades? Hey! Mysterious stranger, did you see that? No answer, huh? Figures. Things just keep getting stranger. I need to find a way inside the tower.
Okay, so that was interesting. We get the voice to tell us that the entity lives and it's unacceptable, and for one it sounds quite fierce, but at the same time we don't have to really be as worried as such, because we can figure out a way to, well, we don't know who it is, but we assume it's Hades because that's what Olin said, like a devil. So but let's see where this takes us. So
hold for identiscan.
One of these again.
Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. Please step inside.
So let me get this straight. We are Dr. Sobek. Yet the stranger told us that Dr. Sobek was the person in the image. So there are some parallels and diversities that we need to figure out based on these two things right now, because this is only eliciting more questions than it is answering, so we need to keep that in mind. I need you guys to keep that in mind, the fact that the identity scan literally calls us Dr. Sobek instead of Aloy. I think it's something worth note. Anyway, let's explore this office area place and figure out what's happening. Of course, the whole point of the story is to go and get to Ted Farrow's office. And which reminds me, it's time in this episode we shall be getting power cell number 3 as well. Yeah, it almost slipped my mind, but Maker's End is actually where power cell 3 is located, and I would be more than happy to show you guys where power cell 3 is now. Of course, as you guys can see, these are some of the other logs that we have found as you're moving forward. Of course, you can't play it for you just to see what's happening, but I could simply make an episode where I play all the logs that we have found, all the hologram data points that we have found, things like that, just so that maybe even get a discussion video going as to what we think happened, we do have the second game, which is Horizon Forbidden West, but help us even speculate what's gonna be coming in the third game, things of that nature. Anyway, we do not have much more to go.
A statue of one, anyway. A machine built to kill. And they honored it?
Welcome to Faro Automated Solutions, where all the problems of tomorrow are being solved today. With over 25,000 human employees based in nations and corporate holdings across the globe, Faro leads the world in every sector of self-sustaining, fully automated technology. From revolutionary consumer products close to home, like the Faro Focus, to the dynamic chariot line of peacekeeping robots halting bloodshed in conflict zones across the globe, Faro remains committed to making the future smarter, brighter, safer, and always surprising. Faro Automated Solutions. For every problem of life, a smart solution.
Interesting.
So they made the Focus. 25,000 people? That's bigger than a tribe. So they made machines and devices. I guess those things were common in their world.
That's interesting to know. Now, this is a reception log. Of course, something that you can't read. Should you want to read, as always, I believe just pausing the video and reading through it is something you can do.
What was this place? What were they doing here?
It was a corporation. A group of people not unlike a tribe. And they made machines.
Yeah, go on.
I've uploaded some data files to your Focus. They'll help you understand.
Okay, so What's His Face has uploaded some more data files to help us understand. Of course, we can look at them. I won't, because I like finding things out on my own. I don't need to read and understand what happened.
There's no smell to it, not even
But at the
death.
same time, you can't do that.
Nothing
because
natural. Another cave-in. But
you can't do that because it helps you understand the law and what was happening as well.
looks like I can climb here. Made it. Looks like the way up. What's left of it.
Okay, so this looks like a conference room. So let's see what it has to offer for us. It's actually a holo projector, but let's see.
The FSP-5 Kopesh provides a one-size-fits-all solution to main battle force capability. Metamaterial construction delivers unmatched recoil dampening.
Looks like we have to stand in place as they do the presentation.
Imagine your complete engagement ecosystem comprehensively managed by a high... The ACA-3 Scarab combines conventional and information warfare capabilities in one package, designed for high-speed, all-terrain reconnaissance. It boasts the world's highest survivability rating of any Scout-class autonomous agent. Maybe it's the Scarab's emergency biomass conversion systems that ensure it always makes it back to base, even if fuel supply lines have been interdicted. Or maybe it's the Scarab's ability to slave enemy robots to its own network. Now that's force multiplication. Add a prehensile manipulator arm that can handle a host of functions, from 360-degree less lethal riot management to surgical repairs of Allied chariot line models. And you've got the workhorse of any cutting-edge peacekeeping fleet.
The Corruptor. Slave enemy robots to its own network. It sounds like it's talking about how it corrupts machines.
The BOR-7 Horus. Imagine your complete engagement ecosystem comprehensively managed by a high-speed learning machine network. Whether your need is to replace battlefield losses or intensify force projection, the Horus's onboard manufacturing capabilities mean you'll never get stuck waiting for the next arms delivered. Simply redefine your force parameters, and the Horus will fabricate additional units to fill the ranks for an affordable per-unit licensing fee. Meanwhile, the biomass conversion systems of other chariot line models allow them to keep the Horus fueled, repaired, and ready, extending its operational tolerances beyond that of any competing Titan-class platform. That's the Horus advantage. Always regulating, always ready. The future of automated warfare made real today.
The Metal Devil. So these were Faro machines too. Manufacturing capabilities. They can make more of themselves. Then how would you ever stop them?
The FSP-5 Kopesh provides a one-size-fits-all solution to main battle force capability. Metamaterial construction delivers unmatched recoil dampening, allowing you to field any weapon package that conforms to your budget needs and conflict resolution profile. Patented biomass conversion systems allow extended emergency operations with minimal environmental impact. Multilinear target processing provides simultaneous real-time threat analysis and legal review for autonomous domestic operations. Or control can be slaved to the swarm's neural network for weapons-free force application. Either way, when it's time to call out the big guns, it's time to call Kopesh.
The Deathbringer. So this was the heavy hitter. Main battle force indeed.
Alright, so we have learned their code designations and what we know them as today. So in reality, this company is what created these machines. But the reason we know is because they wanted what is it called? They created them as peacekeepers. Peacekeeper being a fancy way to say that they were war machines. And that's all we know so far. We know where they came from, but the real question is what happened though.
Frozen metal most of the way. Not making this easy, Dr. Sobek.
And at the same time,
if plants can find a way to hang on up here, guess I can too.
Also, that was a very cool spin Aloy just did. But anyway, also we need to figure out why Dr. Sobek would be here. And at the same time, why are we known as Dr. Sobek? So many different questions. But I guess the answers lie up top, so up top is where we keep on moving towards.
Frost catching in my throat.
Of course we do have
Since the began when they engaged in unauthorized offensive operations against robots and human personnel of the Hearts Timor Energy Combine. Now I wish that I could relate that the crisis has been exaggerated, but it's not. The peacekeepers have not responded to stand-down codes, and by all signs they appear to be replicating at a precipitous rate. Now what I can promise you, can absolutely assure you, is that I am already devoting every possible resource towards reaching a speedy conclusion to this issue. So when you hear the bad talk about us against this company in the days, maybe weeks to come, just bear in mind that we will get past this. And a day's coming when none of this will matter.
Peacekeepers. That's what they called their machines.
Yes.
They were built for war, not peace.
Yeah, so like I said, the machines were built for war, but you have to, it's all about PR and branding. As long as you can brand something to be good for you or good for the people, even if it's clearly not, you can't get away with a lot of things. Case in point, whoever branded fat food, yes, I'm calling it fat food, whoever branded fat food as fast food deserves to be a billionaire, because he literally made it extremely acceptable to everyone that they can be having such meals all the time, because it's quick and easy to have, which I find quite hilarious, and that's the whole point. Branding is literally everything. So if you can find a way to brand something, regardless of how horrific and horrendous it is, you can find a way for it to be good for, you can find a way to make it acceptable by the masses. Anyway, my thoughts on branding aside, we need to keep climbing this tower and figure out exactly what's happening around not what's happening around the world. We already know what's happening around the world, well, in our timeline anyway, and we need to figure out why everything is as is. Of course, that's the unknown caller's intent. Our intent is to figure out who Dr. Elizabeth Sobek is, and why the Eclipse and Hades wants us dead, because of a resemblance, Anyway, this is another data point that you can scan. Of course, you guys, again, I will create a video, probably I wouldn't, but I will look to see if we can go through all the data points. But anyway, we are at the top floor where we needed to be, or where we need to be. But this is the point in time where I show you guys where the third power cell is. So right up here, it is a place that you can otherwise fail to go, which again, I can see why, because if you look at where the first two power cells were, they are in very specific locations where you also can miss them if you do not choose to explore a lot. And as you can see right here, the third power cell.
I keep finding these power cells. What do they do?
Now we're gonna rappel down, and then we are going to go to the office and figure out why this place is as it is. But yes, now at this point in time, if you have been following up with what we have been doing, we now have 3 out of the 5 power cells needed to power up, to finish up the, what's it called, Shield Weaver Armor side quest.
Oh yes, I believe I do.
The file has been recovered.
And then the files have been recovered, so let's get to viewing them, shall we?
Elizabeth, good to, it's been years.
Where's your legal team, Ted?
No need. I dropped all 18 lawsuits the moment you landed. I assume your data confirms this.
All right, this promises to be interesting.
Perhaps we could have lunch brought in. Get reacquainted.
I know you, Ted. You've screwed something up, something big, or you wouldn't have eaten the crow necessary to get me here. So spit it out.
There's a glitch in the chariot line.
Your killer robots?
Peacekeepers, yes, those.
So shut them down.
Obviously, Liz, we would, if we could. They're not responding.
Are you telling me a swarm has gone rogue, Ted?
It's worse than that.
Show me the data then. And I'll take that lunch. Alone. Ted Faro brought Elizabeth Sobek here, but they hated each other.
Another Pharaoh has been recovered.
This isn't a glitch. It's a catastrophe.
Fully aware. It's bad.
Bad?
Jesus, Liz.
It's not bad, Ted. It's apocalyptic. You built a line of killer robots
Peacekeepers.
that consume biomass as fuel,
In emergencies.
and you made them capable of self-replication.
Limited, self-manufacture, controlled.
Not anymore. The glitch severed chain of command. The only nation this swarm answers to now is itself.
You think I did?
Everything else is just food. And at the rate it's replicating, Ted, it will strip the Earth bare in 15 months. We're not talking fall of civilization. We're talking extinction.
I get it, Liz. So how do I stop it while it's contained?
It's not contained. It can't be.
You know what I mean.
Right. Before the truth gets out, you mean?
Liz, I will do anything you say. Keep working it, and whatever you recommend, I'll do.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Ted. The Faro robots threatened all life on Earth, but somehow she defeated them. The world of the old ones fell, but life went on, or we wouldn't be here.
A final Pharaoh has been recovered.
Project Zero Dawn. Jesus, Liz. There has to be another way.
If there were a nicer way to fix your mess, I would have proposed it.
But this? This? When I asked you to find a cure, I didn't expect it to be worse than the disease.
It's not, Ted. It may be grim, but it's our only chance. Now sign the proposal.
Sign it? I can't sign that.
Yes, you can.
That? Liz, I cannot in good conscience sign that.
You've got a choice, Ted.
I know.
I'm speaking to you from a VTOL en route to U.S. Robot Command. In 15 minutes, I meet with General Harris and the rest of the Joint Chiefs.
What? Are you crazy?
Now your choice is what I tell them. Sign, and I'll tell them the wealthiest corporation on Earth has guaranteed the funds necessary to build Zero Dawn. Exactly as I've designed it. Or don't sign, and I will make sure they and everyone else on this planet knows the real cause of the glitch.
Jesus, Liz. You don't have to threaten me. I'll sign.
Look on the bright side, Ted. From here on out, you get to do what you've always been good at. Footing the bill while others get their hands dirty.
God forgive me.
What made her solution so terrible? What did she do to stop the robots?
Okay,
Executive access detected.
so we have learned a lot in that one segment. There was a glitch in the chariot line. The world is coming to an end, and there was a solution that was so dire that it caused a lot of problems. So
Sobek couldn't have been my mother. She lived ages ago.
plus, we got that answer as
All
well.
this searching, and I'm still no closer.
That's your reaction to everything you've just learned? To whine like a spoiled child?
You should really try talking that way to me face to face.
As you wish. Do you really have no idea how monumental are the discoveries you just made, Aloy? I expected more of you.
So, you have a face. Got a name to go with it?
Of all the questions you could ask right now, that's the one you choose. I've spent decades searching the ruins of the old ones, trying to solve the mystery of what happened to them. For years, I've suspected that Pharaoh robots destroyed their civilization, but I could never confirm it. And in minutes, you uncover more ancient knowledge than I have in a lifetime, and what you want to know is my name. Sylens, that's my name. Now, why don't you try asking another question? Something less trivial.
If you're so smart, why do you know so little after a lifetime scratching around in the dirt? It's not my fault you're bad at what you do. I came to these ruins looking for Elizabeth Sobek, not because of the things she did centuries ago, but because people are trying to kill me right now, today. I've got bigger problems to deal with than your crap.
Congratulations. You just graduated from whining to throwing a temper tantrum. I'm sure Elizabeth would be proud. You need to get a grip on yourself and start thinking straight. Only then will you see just how big your problems really are.
What exactly are you talking about?
You've chased a personal riddle into a crowd of larger mysteries. The common thread is your connection to Elizabeth Sobek.
But what is that connection? She couldn't have been my mother if she lived centuries ago.
We don't know the connection yet. The only way to find out is to keep going, to keep making discoveries. Thanks to you, we've only just now learned that Pharaoh robots once threatened to end life on Earth.
But it didn't happen. The Old One's civilization was destroyed, but life was saved.
Obviously. So, what did Elizabeth do? How did she stop the robots before all was lost?
What was Project Zero Dawn?
Exactly the question. Now, are you ready to go get the answer?
Of course I am.
Then why are you still standing here?
Not so fast, Sylens. You've got some explaining to do.
I've told you quite enough. If you still got questions, be quick about it and stop wasting my time.
You said you've known for some time that Pharaoh war machines destroyed the civilization of the Old Ones.
The evidence pointed that way. But until now, I never knew the full scope of their danger. That they could process organic matter into fuel, or that the Horus class could manufacture more robots. Like a cauldron on legs.
But the robots we've seen so far, the Corruptors and Deathbringers, they don't do those things.
Not yet, anyway. So far, we haven't encountered any that are undamaged. At full power, who knows what they're capable of? Now, if that's enough talking, be on your way.
Oh no. I'm just getting started. You've been getting a free ride on my focus, risking nothing while I risk everything. All I have to do is take this thing off my head, and you'll be blind, deaf, and dumb. So quit complaining and answer my questions.
Very well. Proceed.
So far as I can tell, the Eclipse are just following orders. It's Hades who wants me dead. Who is he?
I don't know. The Eclipse describe him as a buried shadow, some kind of devil.
That thing that spoke to me outside, that made that focus explode. That was Hades. It didn't seem like a person or a machine. More like a phantom, with a terrible voice.
All that's certain is that he wants you dead.
Because of my connection to Elizabeth. Has to be.
Hades is using the Eclipse to resurrect Pharaoh robots.
But if Elizabeth found a way to stop them centuries ago, if she made special weapons, maybe Hades is worried I'll do the same thing.
In some of the ancient data I've recovered, there are hints of so-called super weapons being developed. Maybe to stop the robots, the civilization of the old ones had to destroy itself.
Who are you, Sylens? And what are your intentions?
You really need to make this personal? I'm am a lone wanderer who left his tribe behind a long time ago. An explorer of forbidden places, a searcher of lost knowledge. Exactly as I said.
Why do you know so much about the eclipse?
I happen to know a lot about a lot of things. If what you're really asking is whether I work for the Eclipse or anyone else, I don't. I am nothing if not independent.
You've been using my focus to spy on me. How is that possible?
Every focus emits a signal, a voice that only other focuses can hear. I know how to string those voices together, how to make them talk to each other, to communicate, even over vast distances.
How do you learn to do that?
Years of study and experimentation. In principle, it's not so different from how you override machines. I override focuses.
And you can spy through other Eclipse's focuses too.
Usually. All I'll say is that overriding the connections is complicated.
Is there any chance that Elizabeth Sobek could still be alive somehow?
It's highly unlikely, but not impossible. Some of the ancient data I've recovered includes mentions of life extension techniques. Pharmaceuticals mostly, an ancient word for medicine. But some were still trying to perfect ways of freezing and unfreezing people.
Freezing and unfreezing people?
Cryogenics, they called it. But there were problems with it. Given Elizabeth's technological acumen, I can't definitively rule out that she found a way to make herself immortal. But this is speculation. Wasting time.
Elizabeth told Ted Faro she was headed for a place called U.S. Robot Command to tell people about Zero Dawn.
The place still exists as a ruin. The Asuram call it the Grave Horde.
Grave Horde? Cheery name.
You'll find it in the Eastern Mountains, buried under the tangled coils of a metal devil, or a BOR-7 Horus, rather, as we're learning to call them. I'll contact you when you get there.
I can't wait. Someday
All
we'll
right.
meet in person, and your manners had better be improved.
So we have learned a lot more, and we have seen a lot more.
Getting down will be a lot faster than getting up there, at least. U.S. Robot Command next. To learn the secrets of Zero Dawn.
And that's where we shall be going, but surprisingly not in the next episode, because I'm not going to go somewhere that's that far away if there is a closer thing to do. Anyway, we are at level 29, but this is also where this episode comes to an abrupt end. So until then, stay safe, be smart, be kind, tell somebody love them today, and I shall catch all of you in the next episode. Bye guys.